What's up, everybody? Welcome to podcast. Now, I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if Devil May Cry 5 is Game of the Year so far. I kind of want to just have a basic discussion of the game, not necessarily what I think of the game, but I kind of want to talk about the game in general, what people have said about it from this game releasing, and I want to talk about 2019 in video games so far, and that is to base the argument around could this game actually be, and I feel like when this game was coming out, it would be really weird and kind of be out there to say that this game could be a Game of the Year contender right now. Now, I'm not saying that, at the end of the year, we're going to look back and say this was one of them. We're just getting started in the year, in 2019. This is only the third month, and there's plenty of games to come out. There's a lot of games that I'm sure are going to come out that we don't even know about. I've talked a lot about how I think this is going to be the year of the Nintendo Switch. There's going to be a lot of fantastic games on that console, I believe. But, when it comes to Devil May Cry 5, it doesn't have a lot of competition so far this year. And that is more of a discussion towards what this year has been in gaming so far. Again, Devil May Cry 5, in my personal opinion, I really like the game. I think it's a really, really good game. I don't think it's Game of the Year. I'll say that like my own opinion. But around the gaming world, a lot of people are really, really loving this game. You see a lot of talk that Capcom is really starting to dominate in terms of their last 4 releases are doing insanely well, not just in sales, but critically as well. It's getting really good reviews, not just Devil May Cry, but Resident Evil 2's remake, Resident Evil 7, lots of their past games have done, Monster Hunter World, they've done so well. So I'm really proud of Capcom. I'm glad they're starting to really nail games, hit them out of the park. And then, you have to look at the rest of the year and say, well, you know what? This year hasn't been very good at all. It's kind of opened the pathway to make Devil May Cry honestly a potential Game of the Year candidate. Right now, there's only one game that I would say is better than Devil May Cry 5, and that's Kingdom Hearts 3. And I think to a lot of people, especially fans of Kingdom Hearts games, that's going to probably be their Game of the Year. Okay, I think anybody who's been a huge Kingdom Hearts fan, it's hard to look past when we get to the end of 2019. It's hard to look at 2019 and say that Kingdom Hearts 3 wasn't special. However, fundamentally, it wasn't the greatest game in the world. It had so many problems, and we talked about that in lots of videos. But the movement and what the event of Kingdom Hearts 3 releasing meant for a lot of people is always going to be special. Then we had February, and really before Kingdom Hearts 3, we had next to nothing other than Resident Evil 2's remake, which also was a fantastic game. But then we had February, which a lot of people have talked about how that was just an absolute disaster of a month for video games. Games like Anthem, games like Jump Force, which I haven't seen people really talk about. I feel like that game came out and people kind of just forgot that it existed. Because when people make the argument that February was terrible, they talk about games like Crackdown 3, and they talk about games like Anthem, and they talk about Metro Exodus, being pretty solid but not being like amazing. They don't even remember that Jump Force actually came out. The only other game I think could actually be in the contending spot right now is actually Apex Legends, which to me is not my favorite game. It's the best Battle Royale game I've played, but I'm not a Battle Royale fan. I don't see myself playing Apex. I personally don't play Apex very often, and I'm going to be done with it probably within the next couple months of not caring about it whatsoever. But for the gaming world, a lot of people obviously really truly love Apex, and it's really cool to see a game come out and hopefully I think dethrone Fortnite. I think that's really going to be cool if that actually can happen. But it's been kind of an amazing year so far that a game like Devil May Cry 5, that I think when you look at that game and you go into 2019, I don't think you're saying that it's going to be one of the best games so far of the year. Even now, even if you cut the year off right now, I think you still would have looked at it and said, well, hopefully BioWare can figure out something with Anthem. In my personal opinion, I want Jump Force to be a really good fighting game. Maybe Crackdown 3 maybe can actually be something other than just a pure disaster. Metro looks really cool, and there were other games as well. So you look at all these games, and I don't necessarily think you identify Devil May Cry as a game that's going to really push anything, but this game has done a lot of amazing things. It looks really nice. The gameplay is a lot of fun, and kind of just the Devil May Cry kind of format that it's always been, but a really, really cool system to it. It doesn't take itself overly seriously, but it's just a game that a lot of people are really, really enjoying, and it's really cool to see Devil May Cry come back. And obviously, I'm covering these couple videos are all about Devil May Cry, and I kind of wanted to center this around this game, but use it to talk about 2019 in general. And again, to answer like the title of this video, I do think that Devil May Cry is a candidate right now for Game of the Year. Now, it's going to, I think, there's going to be other games, even just this month. We have Sekiro or Sekiro, or however you want to pronounce that game's name, Shadows Die Twice. I think that could be a phenomenal game and probably will become one of, if not the best games of the year upon its release. So, and this is just March, and we have plenty of months to, come up with more games that I think can actually lend itself to a game of the year. But I think Devil May Cry, very, not really stealthy, but again, something that I don't think people expected to be as good as it was. I thought this game would be, like, in a way, dumb fun. I'm not saying that as a criticism to the game. I'm just saying, like, I expected to jump in, actually play the game with the combat that Devil May Cry is known for and just have a nice time. But I really, really do respect this game. I think it's done an outstanding job. I'm really happy to see it do all these review scores, have really high review scores. It's another indicator that, again, single-player games are not dying, as EA will point out time and time again, and other developers as well, or publishers will say that it's cool to see a game that's a 15-hour game, it's just the single player, and that game does so well, and it's getting loved by so many people. I think honestly, in the world that we're going into with this gaming industry, a game that is a single player kind of only game, or the single player is the main focus, it doesn't even have to be only, it's automatically going to get props from people for even daring, to do that nowadays. So I do kind of want to talk about that, maybe again in a future video if you guys also want me to, but let me know in the comments below. Do you think Devil May Cry 5 is a game of the year contender? Do you think it's the best game of 2019? And if not, what is your favorite game so far in 2019? Let me know. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys are notified when all our videos go up. And thank you, as always, for watching. I hope to see you on the next video.